Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming and joining our Tech Thursdays. I know we've been MIA for a while, but this time we are starting off again with a bang. We have the Wallet Squad. But before we get to it, I would love to introduce the people joining us today. It's a full crowd on stage. Maybe we can go one by one, starting with Halaska. Could you do a quick introduction? Who you are, what do you do, what brought you to Immutable?
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Chris. I am a product designer and I've been at Immutable for about 5 weeks now, so still relatively new, but it's been an exciting journey. So I'm in UX design, product design, so all things user experience and flows as you go through and use the product. I have always been interested in design and building it up. The last year or so, I've been getting into crypto and really been fascinated by NFTs. And that kind of led me to Immutable, where I saw that the growth and the challenge of designing solutions for this kind of new area where there's no current best practice for things. It's kind of a new unexplored area. So looking forward to kind of figuring out the right solutions for the users. But yeah.
Awesome. And we are looking forward to those solutions as well. Thanks for sharing that, Chris. How about Natalie? Could you give a quick introduction as well?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie. I'm the lead mobile developer of the Wallets team. So my background is mainly just mobile development, specializing especially in Android development. What brought me to Immutable is actually from my manager that I worked with a few years back, but also Web3 is a space that I've always been interested in as well. I wanted to get into it. So that's how I got here.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Natalie. How about Ed? Could you give us an introduction?
Yeah, sure thing. Good morning, everyone, or good night, wherever you are. I'm Eduardo, go for Ed, engineering manager for the Wallets Squad. I've been working with fintechs and other startups for the past 10 years. And most recently, late last year, I moved into crypto at Immutable, forming this new squad. My background is also mobile, same as Natalie. But now we're just exploring what the future of wallets is for Immutable. Very excited to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Ed. And finally, Lily, could you give us a reintroduction? I'm sure some people here haven't heard from you yet.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm the PM on the Wallets team. I've been on a Tea Time Tech Thursday with the mainstream team previously. So I've been here for about a year now. A lot has changed in that year. So I've been moved around teams, kind of helping to define what we want our product in each of those spaces to be.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, team. For people coming into the audience right now, if you have any questions for the team members, either personal or as a group, feel free to drop that into the events text channel and we will do our best to answer your questions. We will go through what the Wallet team does, what's the mission of the squad, any updates that they can share, and anything that they're looking forward to build as a product for the Immutable protocol. So let's get into it. So the first question is, what is the Wallet Squad? What's the mission? Is this any different from the mainstream squad that we had before?
Yeah, so the Wallet Squad is, by its name, focused a bit more on kind of the wallet infrastructure that the Immutable X protocol has. And I think importantly for most people who interact with, the marketplace or any of the projects that are built on Immutable X, that also means we own the link or the blue pop-up that you see when you try and do stuff. So that all sits within our remit. And so we've been looking at, Chris has been looking at how do we make that experience better, and Nat and Ed and the team as a whole have been looking at, okay, well, what else have people been saying that we need in this wallet space so they can build the types of projects and games and pages that they want to be able to build, and really unlocking that flexibility for them.
Got it. And is this any different from what the mainstream squad was doing? Is there still a mainstream squad?
So they are kind of like subsumed in our group right now. So all the stuff with like MoonPay will sit with us for now as we kind of build out the rest of the product org. Give us time, but yeah. So that's definitely still on the roadmap. But we recently kind of launched the IMX and God's tokens on L2 with MoonPay, and so we're kind of starting to tie a bow around some of the things that the mainstream squad was looking at.
Got it. Okay. And just further qualifying questions or clarifying questions. When you say wallet squad and you see the blue pop up when people interact with Immutable X, do you mean that do you also work on MetaMask, Wallet Connect, all those different things? Is that under your scope?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. So think about it as like what the protocol needs to interact with users' wallets and what those wallets are, etc., largely sit with us.
Got it. Got it. Okay. In that case, thank you for sharing an overview. What are the things that you can share? What have you been working on?
But we've definitely been looking at Link. So Chris, as maybe it'll be interesting to know, kind of as an outsider when you came in, what were some of the things you noticed about Link? How have you been thinking about improving it?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I guess like my background is in product design. I spent 6 years before this at Google trying to simplify experiences in mobile apps. And like one of the first things I noticed when I joined Immutable was like that we have very technical terminology and the onboarding process. There's a lot of steps, and that's useful for Web3, especially because we have to give transparency about what you're doing. We have to be clear about what you're doing. But yeah, one of the opportunity areas within that is trying to make it more approachable and digestible for other people as well. So yeah, trying to really simplify the language that we use across the onboarding experience, give users clear options over the solutions that suit them. So we have, there might be some users we have which are very tech heavy, they understand crypto and they want all the transparency and control over what happens. So we need to cater for that, but we also need to cater for people who have earned some items in a game and they want to sell them and cash out. So we need those kind of solutions for both. But yeah, there's a lot of language, especially, which is one of my focuses right now, is to make all the terms and text we use more understandable and just easy to glance at and make the right choice. But yeah, lots of improvements we're making and trying to cater for all these different use cases at the moment.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that, Chris. Super basic question. Why are we focusing on these things? On language, on making things easy? What's the point? Why should people care?
We want people to know what they're doing. Like obviously, when it comes to these wallets, it's your money, it's your NFT assets. It could be worth not much, but it could be worth a lot of money. And having the trust and security for every user is really important. So giving them those options is a high priority for us. Like we don't want anyone signing up to the wrong type of wallet or giving permission to something which isn't exactly what they intended. So we have to be very clear about what they're doing and making those actions, relatable and easy to understand to the user. And it's a big challenge because like it's easy to add lots and lots of text and give all the context of every single thing we're doing, but we also want people to get through these flows and be able to continue their journey with the game and not be interrupted. So finding that balance is like a big challenge for us.
Yeah, I think part of it is also, the people who are going to start engaging with NFTs, with crypto, are going to become more and more mainstream. So people who haven't fully understood kind of what it is, they might just be wanting to play a game, like Haskell mentioned, and the interaction you have with a wallet is one of the very, very first things you do, right? And so if you are engaging with a wallet for the first time and you read a wall of text, you're very likely to be like, nah, I don't know what this means, so close. Like, I think we're at a point where it's not so like prolific that people understand crypto. It would be more similar to people like, people of a generation above us learning how to do internet billing for the first time, where they're like, what do you mean I'm giving someone like, what do you mean I'm typing my credit card details into a screen, right? If you grew up with it, that's not a thing you think about. You're like, yep, I look for the PayPal logo and then I just like do it and I'm comfortable with that. Whereas we really are at the point where we're trying to educate new users, make them feel safe and secure, make them understand what they're doing so that they can set it up and be like, oh, cool, that wasn't terrifying. And then, they can go on with whatever they're doing. I think that's really a key goal, and it's really hard, as Chris mentioned, when you're juggling kind of what is too much context, what is not enough context. How do we explain to people that this is really important, but also not freak them out?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think that makes a lot of sense. It gives catering to the mainstream, the next wave, or as they call it, the next billion people coming into crypto. Catering for their needs are going to be very important and certainly something we want to do as Immutable. Curious how everybody works together in the wallets team towards that mission. Chris, you already mentioned the things that you do, but maybe Natalie and Ed, you can weigh in on how you're collaborating within the team.
Yeah, that's great. Like, in our case, as we're just saying at the very beginning, we carry a lot of baggage in the mobile space. So we are supporting Lily and Chris on the thinking on how we can serve both partners and their users on mobile dedicated experiences as well. On top of everything that Chris was mentioning just now, something that we can also say is that we are also exploring ways to serve mobile developers or game developers that delivering stuff in the mobile space. Sometimes this means that we have to provide dedicated UXs on mobile, but sometimes it means that we actually have to be like more behind the scenes and allow developers to build their own UX. And how we can enable developers doing so, say through a wallet, a mobile SDK of some sorts, or even a hybrid SDK that also provides some level of UX to have wallet operations in their mobile ecosystem. So everything is on the table right now. Like it's a new squad. We have to stress that it is a newly formed squad, and we're just assessing, hearing from the community, hearing from partners what they need in order to have a seamless, nice integrated wallet experience with our protocol. So yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question, Nigel.
Yeah, I mean, deep diving into that, I heard a lot of keywords that I want to really dig into. So you mentioned a few things like, for example, mobile SDK. For the non-technical people here, what does that mean, and why are we looking into that? Why do you think that's important for us?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like when you say a mobile SDK, is that like when we have partners or other developers trying to have this integration with our platform, they want to have a way to bootstrap the project, right? They want to have a way to nicely integrate with our platform without having to have a huge effort or huge build on their side. So there are a few tools that we can provide to those partners in order to bootstrap them, to speed them up on their process without having to worry too much about the technicalities of how they integrate with our APIs, with our platform. So what we're trying to achieve here is having a tool set we can provide them so they can easily plug these tool sets into their development pipeline and have these just build their workflows the way they want. Like I guess what we're trying to achieve is a situation where developers and partners are more focused on a nice UX or a nice gameplay that they should be delivering, and less about what does it take to have a wallet's experience with Immutable that should be out of the box for them, so they can focus on the user experience on their side. So that's our goal with the wallets SDK.
Got it. And is this like a pathway to onboard more customers and developers into our platform? Like, I guess what I'm getting at is how will this help the protocol?
Yeah, it makes it easier for if you are a mobile first game to actually be able to like engage with the protocol, right? Because right now, a lot of the build is, or the existing infrastructure is really good if you are a browser-based like project. You know, you want to whip something up on your desktop, cool. But this is really going to help unlock that pipeline of people who want to build, you know, mobile first games or other platforms.
Got it. And I heard mobile. Why is it important to look into mobile?
We really think mobile gaming, mobile projects are going to be like a really huge source of engagement, because I think like mobile gaming generally is already massive, right? Like the way that people engage with their phone and engage with the like content on their phone is really, really strong. And like we see that with like general like non-NFT gaming right now, as well as just like, I don't know if you've ever looked at your screen time on your phone. I try to avoid it because it kind of like makes me think about my life sometimes. But like people spend a lot of time on their phone, and they find a lot of their you know most important and best content is accessible through that mechanism. And so it's a gap to not be able to do NFTs well on your phone.
Got it. Okay, awesome. How about you, Natalie? Did you want to weigh in on any part of that? Any insight you can share, being a mobile specialist and looking into crypto right now?
Right. Yeah, I think Ed and Lily pretty much covered most of it. For me, myself, yeah, pretty much working on the mobile SDK right now. Not sure how much I can mention it here, but yeah, you should be seeing it up and live soon so that like all the mobile developers out there can integrate it.
Awesome. Okay, so is mobile coming to Immutable X? And I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but actually right now you can't interact with the marketplace, for example, using mobile. But is that going to change soon?
So you can interact with the protocol with the using the web, right? And we're working on like Wallet Connect so that it works on mobile web as well. What we're working on is actually for the native mobile SDK, so that's actually like Android, iOS. So what Lily just mentioned with games and everything that works on mobile, you should be able to integrate it natively there as well. Yeah, in the future.
Awesome. Okay. What does that mean? Having a native SDK versus Wallet Connect. Again, for people who are non-technical, what's the difference?
So if you want to connect like using mobile SDK, you still have to go through Wallet Connect anyway, because it's basically a protocol for you to connect to any mobile wallets on your phone, right? With the SDK, the experience is much more seamless. Like the UX is much nicer. You don't get pushed out to like the browser. You know, like how on your phone you have like Chrome browser, Safari browser. You don't get pushed out to that flow, but everything is just integrated nicely into whatever application that you're in. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that helps paint the picture for non-technical people, but yeah. So mainly probably the UX side that's going to be much better.
Got it, definitely. I mean, does this mean no more pop-ups even for the web browser?
Yeah. Yep. So we're trying to completely avoid like browsers on that side, unless we really need to, but most of it should just be like seamless, no pops up at all.
Got it. Awesome. I at least personally hate the pop-ups, so
Yeah.
as little pops as possible, I think that's a good thing. Could anybody share what is the roadmap of the Wallet team right now? What's the current thing people are working on, and what can people expect in the near future?
Yeah, so obviously there are the SDKs that we spoke about. Unsurprisingly, those have slightly longer timelines than like tomorrow. But so we're looking at obviously a native Android SDK, as Nat mentioned, and also the web SDK, which will be out in the next few months, and then we're parallel processing kind of the link upgrades that Alaska mentioned. In particular, error messaging is something that we've heard is a pain point for a lot of users, where something goes wrong, Link tells them something has gone wrong, and then doesn't really provide a much stronger mechanism in terms of resolving that issue. So we are working on fixing those things so that, one, there's less errors. Two, if there is an error, you are actually given some mechanism to resolve it, or at least give you enough information so that when you talk to our support team, they can resolve it easier. And then we're also working on I think we can talk about this, the arbitrary L1 signature requests.
Yeah, I think we can. It's upcoming very soon, maybe sometime after Easter. Like we got some feedback from partners that they want to sign some messages to support some of their workflows. There is this use case from a partner where they want to sign a message in order to enable users to like or follow creators on their platform. So that's a capability that's not currently available in Link, but we want to provide the capability, the new feature sometime after Easter. There's something else that I want to add, maybe that we're exploring down the line, maybe sometime around August, is having more some security features as well that we can provide as part of our wallets offering. One of them is the 2FA or MFA flows as well, in case partners want to have a higher confidence that those transactions are the right ones, are not risky transactions. They could ask for a 2FA authentication from the users, and we want to provide a solution to partners as well. That's a big piece of work that's going to take some time, but it's also in our pipeline as well to build.
Awesome. I think there was a good question from DefCon. What do we mean by no pop-ups? Do people in the team want to further clarify this?
Yeah, so the pop-up, so if you've used the marketplace, for example, right now, the flow you experience if you're using MetaMask with the marketplace is, I want to buy something, you'll see link pop up that says, please confirm you want to buy for $1. You click confirm, and then MetaMask pops up and says, please sign. Right, so there's like quite a few clicks to go through that process of buying something for $1. What we mean is you won't necessarily see that link pop up anymore. So you would be able to go into the marketplace, hit buy, but MetaMask will still ask for your signature. So we wouldn't be removing if there are security protocols or any other part in the actual wallet you are using, we're not going to get rid of that because we can't and we shouldn't anyway, but rather the interfacing between that wallet and the protocol is the bit we have more control over, and that's the bit we want to give developers the option that if they don't want to use our link because it doesn't fit with their experience or whatever else it might be, we give them an SDK which still runs in the background but allows them to have more control of that UX.
Got it. To be clear, right now, if you use the marketplace, you get two pop-ups. One is the link and one is the MetaMask. And after you're done, link probably doesn't need to be there anymore. You just need to click one pop-up, which is MetaMask.
Yeah. Well,
Got it.
There's a question there for like when the marketplace would integrate it, but yeah, that would be the idea.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. And just for context, for people listening, right? Like, why is this something a lot of customers or games or developers are asking for?
Yeah, like right now, it is hard to build a good game that also uses blockchain, right? Because so much of the infrastructure is pretty clunky because we're still in the early stages of really like developing out everything like as an industry, and so if you think about playing Animal Crossing or Zelda, for example, right, where you're picking up lots of assets and you're doing lots of things with those assets all the time, it's really hard to build a very similar game on any protocol because every time you pick something up or you want to use something and you are like burning that asset, you would be required to sign something. And it's hard to play a good game that interrupts you every 30 seconds to be like, please confirm you want to burn this Apple NFT. Please confirm you want to use this fish NFT. Like, we need to be, in order to let people actually create good games, we need to provide them the infrastructure that lets them do that with a user in mind. I think it's easy to build games which are really just NFT trading with some game wrapped around it. But with the future is really like genuinely fun and good games. And there happens to be things that are NFTs which allow you to really own that own that experience you're having. But getting there requires us to build some new and extended infrastructure.
Got it. Awesome. I think that makes a lot of sense and brings a good segue to another question of what are the pain points that the team has heard from research, users, even the companies or games that we're talking to? What are the pain points we've heard and what are the things that we really want to tackle and fix? Maybe Chris or Natalie or Ed, whoever wants to answer, feel free to.
There's a couple on the user facing side. So obviously our link is using a very tailored brand in terms of colors and text and everything to us. So and that doesn't fit every other game and partner out there. So there's obviously a reluctance or like a problem that our look and feel may not match other people's look and feel. So that's why these SDKs really help and gives people some sort of control and options over that. So we're looking at ways of improving that. Understanding of like the actions they're taken, like Lily mentioned before, we have some people coming in who have no idea about crypto and we're trying to just get through things. So trying to cater for someone who may not even know anything about blockchain at all, but they want to be able to get the benefits of it. So the pain point of that whole learning and understanding journey, which is something we're focusing on, just the whole education piece and walking those users through it, but also giving options for people who know their stuff to get through and have the control that they want. So they're like some of the top things on the UX side that we're currently looking at. And then just in terms of the journeys that they take and the amount of steps involved to get anything done, as Lily just mentioned, with specific actions within a game, figuring out how we can not interrupt the gameplay at every single point and see what can be delayed and try let them get their value and enjoyment out of those games and other partner experiences without having to block them every 5 seconds.
Yes, makes sense. Natalie, Ed, was there anything you wanted to add? Else I can move on to the next question.
Yeah, I guess the summary of the feedback is flexibility, right? Like partners wants to have a good level of flexibility on deciding how much immutable UX they want to surface on their side, how much help they need in order to deliver their UX. So each partner has different needs and they want to be flexible in that sense. So, how much link our UI should pop up, or how much should be just sitting behind the scenes, only delivering capabilities that they control themselves. That has been a key aspect of our strategy. Like how can we enable different types of partners on their needs? How flexible can we be on delivering those SDKs there?
Awesome. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's the flexibility. Okay, I'll move on to one question that was sent earlier. It was from aussietechblog.eth. And it's for Lily specifically. Lily, I am a well-rounded PM looking to break into Web3. I strongly believe on Immutable. I own tokens myself. Are product manager positions on Immutable still available?
Yes. I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. I'm pretty sure there was an article and the answer was yes. Definitely, look, we are growing so fast, and it's definitely just a question of kind of like the only thing that's really limiting us is being able to find those people who want to get involved. So like if you have that background and you're interested, definitely go have a look, definitely apply. We are looking for friends. It's totally fine. But yeah, the PM role here is like super, super interesting and very, very diverse. Part of it is obviously because we're scaling as we go. So the remit is quite broad as we start to bring people in who are more specialized in, like product marketing and whatever. And so it is super, super fast moving, especially in this industry where products are being released every day. Like there's so much noise with competitors and people figuring out what they want. I feel like we're very much in what's that for, like that stereotypical Ford quote, like if we asked customers what they want, they'd want a faster horse kind of thing, where we're really at a point where we can have a really big impact on shaping this industry and not just kind of doing what other people are doing. But yeah, if you are interested, definitely have a look. I'm pretty sure there are still positions available.
Got it. Thanks for sharing. The follow-up question from Aussie Bloke was, what is a good way to break into Web3, especially for PMs?
That's a really good question. I think like my background is a little bit more unique in the sense, or maybe very generic for some people, but more unique in a tech sense because I was actually not brought in as a PM. I was brought in as a strategy lead, which kind of was more generalized. And I think I moved into the space basically because I was basically on the job interviewing, where I was put into a PM role out of necessity because the team was much, much smaller a year ago, and then demonstrated that like, oh, I could do this. And so here I am. I think from a general PM perspective and of the PMs I've seen come in through then, it's partially understanding of the space. But the space moves really quickly, right? So it's also demonstrating like you have those best practices that you can bring to the company, that you can help establish a really strong product function and help with bringing the best of. And so, a lot of the PMs we have now come from other tech companies, not necessarily crypto companies, because you can write a laundry list of the best people you would want, but given how young the industry as a whole is, there just aren't like 100,000 crypto PMs with crypto experience floating around. But yeah, I think demonstrating like a really good skill set, generic, like industry agnostic, and then demonstrating an interest in the area is kind of a key piece.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Lily. Let me try to end with a few things. First is I'd love to go around the room just to understand from each team member, what are you most excited about wallets, quote unquote, just to make it more concrete to people, what we mean by that and why we're so excited in putting these resources to build out a great wallet experience for Immutable. And then later on, any key takeaways that people want to learn or that you want to share to the audience. So maybe start with Chris. What are things you're most excited about for the wallets team?
It's a big question. There's a lot of things I'm excited about with wallets, but I think like as a product designer with user experience background, like what excites me is creating solutions and user flows that help people achieve the outcomes, but in like a delightful way. So I think I've already experienced this personally in the NFT space. Like there's a lot of times you have things that cause you anxiety and pain and like, oh, am I doing the right transaction? Is this going to the right person? Is this the right NFT collection? So trying to alleviate some of those pains for the users and give them confidence in what they're doing is something that I'm going to be definitely focused on. And I think that's an exciting thing for us to work on in the future. And I think we're going to get there, which is good. And yeah, I guess like the takeaways, like one thing around what we're working on is, that whole balance of, this whole area of Web3 is that's so new and there's so many wants and needs of being transparent and having security, but like trying to figure out what's the bridge from Web 2 to Web 3 in terms of like we've had so much advancement in user experience in terms of making these sign up experiences seamless and easy for anyone to use, but trying to get people from those experiences to Web3, like bridging that gap of giving them that kind of ease of signing up to something, but also that kind of control that they want in Web3 is something that is going to be a big challenge across the whole industry, but something we're keen to get our hands dirty with.
Awesome. How about you, Natalie? What are you most excited about?
Coming from a mobile background, so obviously I'm excited to see like the wallet space, especially immutable wallet space, in the mobile space, like especially native Android, iOS. Also since this year is all about layer 2, right? So when we all about like Stockware, Stocknet, StockX, all that stuff, can we have like a native L2 wallet that seamlessly like supports the immutable protocol Yeah, pretty much all that, and pretty similar to Chris as well, like the whole UX side of things on mobile, because mobile is pretty new in Web3 in general, right? Like as a developer, there's not a lot of good libraries out there as well. Yep, so it'll be good to fill that part. Yep, and the wallet side as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie. Lily, how about you?
I'm really excited for people to kind of not have to think about wallets too much. It sounds bizarre as a team which is responsible for wallets, but what I mean is wallets want it to be something that's really easy, that's really seamless, and that like when you're playing a game or whatever is just a process you go through and you don't really need to think about. Like I don't really think about what it's like to like log into my banking app. I really think about what it's how hard it is to like buy something off of an e-commerce site because it just happens and it's easy and it just works. That's what I want us to get to, and to what like Chris was saying, I think we have a pathway to get there, which is super exciting because then we can focus on all the super fun, like super sexy stuff, which is like an awesome game or an awesome product or like an awesome project, and know that it's because the wallet works and the wallet is good, which is why we can talk about all of the amazing stuff that's built with it, rather than having to, rather than having users be like, this sucked. Like that's what I'm excited for.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that, Lily. I agree. Being invisible, I think it's the best user experience in my opinion, but who knows? How about you, Ed? Round it off.
Yeah, being lost on the table here, like it's pretty much a sum of all of the other comments. And like from my personal perspective, there's a very clear gap in terms of what the best experience on handling those transactions in crypto or managing your assets, managing your inventory actually means to users. And we want to fill that gap. I guess just echoing what Lily was saying just now. How much UX we want to deliver, how much solutions we want to deliver, but in the same time, how invisible we can be. Let's just be visible enough with our solutions in order to deliver, like for users to achieve what they're trying to achieve. And like for now, we're just trying to fill this gap in the mobile space, but then I guess the long run strategy is to work cross-platform. So if you're playing a desktop game and you need more security on signing your transactions or having a better way to sign your transactions or control your inventory, potentially you can just pull your phone from your pocket, scan a code on screen, and continue with whatever you're trying to achieve. Instead of just having a broken experience in game, for instance. So I guess a good summary would be that we have a huge huge collection of possibilities here. And right now, our biggest challenge is actually picking what's the most impactful thing for users out there in the wallet's experience. Because we have so much cool ideas to build, and that's very exciting. But we want to hear from you all as well. So even after this session, if you have any feedback or anything that you want to hear more about, like maybe next time we can prep some more visual stuff, what we're trying to be using the wallet space, so we can share with you all during this session ahead of time. We're always open to feedback. We are here for you all.
Yeah, awesome. And that's a nice way to end this session. What's the best way for people to give feedback or share their thoughts about Link or Wallet or anything else for the team?
Let Nigel know.
I will tell people to just tag Lily, Natalie, Alaska, and Ed every time. All the notifications.
I'm definitely going to be looking at like getting some of the new designs we're working on in front of all of you guys as well, because I want to hear from you about what's important in these onboarding experiences, and yeah, getting feedback along the way from the community is going to really help shape the future of our experience. So stay tuned for that. Yeah,
definitely watch out for some surveys we might put out to kind of get your input, and then maybe get you in for a chat. So keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, I will hold everybody to that. We will bring that to the community one way or another. That's it. Thank you for your time, and appreciate you spending some time with the audience and everybody who logged in. Hope you had a good time understanding more about our wallets. Again, if you have any questions to any team member, feel free to tag them in Discord. And if you have any more feedback, just drop them in, and the team will happy to jump in. Thank you very much, and that's it.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a nice day.